Good day, and welcome to the Ram Ashram Satsang Weekend Workshop. My name is Eddie. I've been practicing Satsang for 14 years, and I have experienced happiness and joy during that time of practice. I hope that it will do the same for you. It is my pleasure today to introduce today's facilitator, but first, I'd like to give a brief introduction to this weekend workshop. Satsang is a scientific method whereby we may obtain peace, light, and love in our lives. It requires no physical ability or skill and no experience. It consists of two words, Sat and Sang. Sat means positive energy, and Sang means to be with. So together, Satsang means to be in the presence of positive energy. A major element of Satsang is meditation. Through meditation, we withdraw our senses from the external worldly objects and focus on a single thought. As we do, our minds become peaceful and calm and cleansed, thereby allowing us to achieve higher states of consciousness. Inner orientation. There are two types of satsang methods, outer satsang and inner satsang. An example of outer satsang would be chanting. Inner satsang is what we practice, and the method we use is meditating in silence. Throughout a satsang, one may achieve changes in one's behavior, but only through inner satsang can one achieve peace, light, and love in their lives and reach that ocean of bliss. Group orientation. This weekend workshop is structured for group meditation and group participation. Through group meditation, our focus increases and our progress along the spiritual path is expedited. Joy and inner happiness. Joy is the eternal longing of the soul. The activities and actions that we execute during the day are designed or performed to bring joy into our lives. Through the practice of meditation, we obtain higher states of inner happiness, ultimately culminating in joy, which we experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Agenda. Today's agenda consists of 3 sessions: the informative session, the practice session, and the interactive session. During the informative session, we will be given a lecture about satsang, the founder, or some major topic. During the practice session, we will be instructed on the method of meditation we use for satsang, followed by a period of practice. During the interactive session, you will be able to ask questions and receive answers, or there'll be a panel discussion. And now, I'd like to introduce our facilitator for today's weekend workshop. He has over 40 years of experience in satsang. He is the grandson of Guru Maharaj, the founder of Ram Ashram Satsang. He was born in India into a Satsang family, and he has personally seen his family members achieve enlightenment and lead lives of peace, light, and love. He has made it his charitable mission to spread this simplified form of satsang throughout the world so that those who are experienced or inexperienced and have little free time may achieve peace, light, and love in their lives. Upon arriving in the United States, he and his wife began conducting satsang for satsangees. In 2005, he introduced online satsang to the world and was able to reach those throughout the world, including the remote villages of India. Today, he continues to travel throughout the United States and India, conducting satsang, while maintaining his duties as a husband, a father, and an IT executive. Please join me now in welcoming Brother Sanjeev Kumar.
So good morning and good afternoon, and in India, good evening. Um, so yeah, these sessions. Thank you, Eddie. Um, these sessions are so intimate, and you know, sometimes I feel in this format that we have started. The interaction and the ability to start off, in a practice of a very unique meditation system. Just try it, figure out if it's for you or not. Um, becomes so much easier, a very, very interactive session at the end. So I was just kind of thinking this morning that maybe, we should differentiate, especially here, like category one, category two, and category three, because satsang, in a way, is for beginners, as Eddie was saying, and but it is also for a little more advanced. But then it's also for very advanced practitioners, in the sense that um, you can come in, and I have seen that in India, you can come in with literally no, like, beliefs, faiths, and you know, and you could get all of that here as well. So it is for, on one hand, Guru Maharaj, who established it, said it is for everyone, because he believed and stated that so many places that he believes everyone can achieve the state of what is called enlightenment, and what is thought of as a very distant, uh, and it is hard to reach, unfortunately, which that part is true. But his belief was that everyone can achieve it. You don't have to belong here, there, or wherever, in terms of race, religion, etc., etc., uh, you know, culture. But the so it's you can, like, you go to a yoga studio, you do the yoga, and you're done. uh, but that's just one small part of the yoga philosophy, the yoga approach. But you get the health benefits, let's say. So similarly here, you could come in, it's very focused on meditation, you could do meditation, and then you know rest is, like, literally up to you. And So I was kind of, the first thing this morning was like, I should write something on, we believe, what do we believe in? We believe that everyone can reach uh, higher awareness, higher consciousness, irrespective of where they are right now, in terms of geography, in terms of their own state, etc. Um, so one other thing, like when it comes to uniqueness here is, you know, so when I was trying to articulate, okay, what I have seen as people reaching, and Eddie talks about Sahad Samadhi, or the natural state of higher consciousness. That's probably as close to describing what this can do for us. Um, uh, but then a very, here it's like you should have an elevator pitch, you should have a one liner. And believe it or not, one liners are not new. um, the entire Yoga Sutra, written by the father of the yoga philosophy, Maharishi Patanjali, is just one liners. And you can write a chapter on each one of those lines. And I actually started writing a paragraph for some of the lines that actually are very relevant to our practice, and fascinating. So one of the unique things in terms of satsang is that the target state is where peace, light, and love kind of become abundant. I mean, abundant in the way that we cannot even fathom. Um, so, peace, light, and love. So, somebody actually sent me a note, I think a couple of days back, by David Hawkins, that love is misunderstood to be an emotion. Actually, it is a state of awareness. I don't know if I totally, but yeah, let's keep going. A way of being in the world, a way of seeing oneself and others. Love of God or nature, or even one's pets, and which I can relate to, opens the door to spiritual inspiration. Hmm. The desire to make others happy. So that's the aspect of love. Love is more about the desire to make others happy. So he says the desire to make others happy overrides selfishness. And if we go by that definition of love, OMG, I am totally on signing up for it. The more we give love, and that's another very, very core part of this target state love that I refer to. The more we give love, the greater our capacity to do so becomes. Counterintuitive, maybe. It is a good beginning practice to merely mentally wish others well. So, if you want to start on that journey, it is a good beginning practice to merely mentally wish others well throughout the course of the day. Wow, I think that will be transformative if we could just do that. Love blossoms into lovingness, which progressively becomes more intense, non selective, and joyful. Wow. Um, so, you know, so, I think there are each line of this can be, broken down, but I think I would rather meditate on it. So just uh, because some of these things have aspects which it takes time for us to digest. So let me just quickly read this again. Uh, Love is misunderstood to be an emotion. Actually, it's a state of awareness, a way of being in the world, a way of seeing oneself and others. Love for God or nature or even one's pets opens the door to spiritual inspiration. The desire to make others happy overrides selfishness. The more we give love, the greater our capacity to do so becomes. It is a good beginning practice to merely mentally wish others well throughout the course of the day. Love blossoms into lovingness, which becomes progressively more intense, non selective, and joyful. And talking about just merely mentally wishing others well throughout the course of the day, what if you were taking even a higher level, uh, that the love that you feel? So, first of all, satsang takes you to a place where love becomes integral to you, like your state. And I wouldn't call it the state of mind because uh, mind is at one level, then, you know, there are awareness and consciousness, it's at a higher level. So, loving at a higher level where you are more self-aware, more, at a higher consciousness state is so, you start, just mentally thinking about it. But then if you inculcate this consciousness where you are aware, so what are you aware of in this awareness state? That this consciousness that I have within is pervasive. And I was actually one of us, you know, I have a Tuesday session. So Betty there actually asked me to watch a PBS session on consciousness. I mean, amazing, amazing. I definitely would say if you can find it because it reruns. I think it's Independent Lens program on consciousness. And I think maybe next session we can talk some of the things that I found fascinating there. But here, all I'm saying is like, so what we become aware of, that the same consciousness we have, others have. And that becomes the founding principle on which this love uh, becomes more intensive, non-selective, and joyful. And I think that is where we need to be. And I think if you watch that program, what you will realize is that it's not just humans that have consciousness. Yes, our pets have consciousness differently, but consciousness still is consciousness. And then it goes and actually scientifically and other ways talks about how somebody, a scientist in Australia, started experimenting that, you know, trees and plants have consciousness too. So, on that note, let's meditate on it. So, again, simple but powerful. The whole idea here is this, cosmic consciousness, this cosmic energy in form of light is with us. So it's not far, it's right here, right now, with us. And we are like becoming one with it. So there is no difference. We then become the cosmic energy. So where do we begin? So mentally, we think about that this light, this transcendental energy in form of transcendental light is in front of us. It's entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and we're completely getting immersed, becoming one with this light. Mind will wander away. So the whole idea initially is to control our mind. So that's step one for meditation, any meditation, really. And I would say there are hundreds, if not thousands, of methods to do, that. Like, how do we get our mind concentrated, focused? So one principle is give it one toy and one toy alone, so that it's just, playing with it. So here, the thought and this observation of this energy around us, within us, in front of us, is the focus here. No other action, no other mantras, chanting, breathing, focus, and all that. Just that. So one principle is bring your mind to one thought and one thought alone, and then leave that too. So that happens in deeper meditation automatically. So here, instead of so we start with music because it helps, and a lot of people just meditate on music. So we start with that and then go deeper into silent meditation. So um, so that's like, take something which will help mind to concentrate. It could be music, it could be, observing something. So here we do this. The next thing is that reduce the distractions for the mind. So eyes lightly closed, sit in a posture that, body doesn't move too much, because every time the body moves, your mind get distracted and you get distracted. So for deeper meditation, slightly closed, try to keep spine a little straight, chin a little inwards, and then think of this transcendental light in front of us, entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and that we are becoming one with this light. We'll start with music and go deeper into silent meditation, and then transition out with music as well. Let's start now. um, so Richard, Dan, Karunakar, any comments, questions, anything you want to share?
I'll share again. That was really intense, but my mind was still all over the place. Yeah.
So it was intense, but mind was all over the place. How does those two go together?
Because it was like I had to keep pulling my mind back
Yeah, yeah.
to the visualization, but at the same time, the sort of journey my mind was going on wasn't just like flitting from ideas. It was like getting really deep into things, and then I was realizing that's not what I was supposed to be thinking about, and having to pull back.
but that happens often, and sometimes it's best to, it's like, one of the examples is like the wild horse, let it run, then you settle it,
Yeah.
right? So so that's there. But like sometimes I also feel on the flip side that that because sometimes we feel this, depth of meditation, and I don't know, for me sometimes like even 30 seconds of that is just so refreshing, so it's like, um yeah, I was going to this program I was referring to on PBS, and somebody went into an experiment, and they just, um, you know, uh, in South America, it's very popular. You take some mushrooms and you have a spiritual experience. and
Yeah.
I would say, hey, come join satsang in a few, in due course. You might not need to take any substance to get to that, but anyway, I digress. So there, a professor in philosophy was going through deep phase of grief, and he just signed up for it, and later he was talking about it, probably 10 years later, and he was saying that that experience stands out. It stands out. it, it's just, so that level of, you know um, I think it's like when you let go of yourself, it's a
Yeah.
liberating experience. And he was saying that, it was an experience, it stands out in a way that I never felt that before or after.
Yeah.
So that intensity is always, but again, I think we all have some, ways in which we visualize or think about, deeper meditation. But when you actually go there, it's a different experience, so we should be open to that as well. So
Yeah.
anyway.
I
But
found the music really helped as well. It was when the music stopped that I started going off on massive tangents. But
yeah, I am still, experimenting with music. So now I think I have two or three recordings, which I'm trying to see which one. So they all go to the traditional prayers that were there in the Hindi session. So I've asked some, musicians to convert that into very soothing. So interestingly, if you were to sing, the ups and downs, the notes actually help you get into that mode.
right.
but when you listen to something, too much up and down actually distracts you. So I found that very fascinating. Um, but anyway, yeah. No. So how's your meditation versus sleep?
I wasn't dozing off again. So that's 2 weeks in a row. I
Oh,
did.
wow. Wow.
I did
Wow.
still find myself moving though. I keep like, leaning forward, which is kind of weird. But,
Yeah, actually, I think the way you're describing it's kind of not too bad, but I had a person who would actually tilt his head and in a way that it was kind of very distracting for him. So
yeah,
yeah, so um, I would say as you are going deeper into your practice, I think most probably this will go away. Otherwise, we'll do a one-on-one session on that.
thank you.
All right. Dan or Karunakar, anything? Hello,
Yeah,
Dan.
I'll go. It was definitely relaxing. Part of it though too is I just got up recently, just before the session, so still kind of in that groggy, tired state. So, but for me, I mean, I didn't start until probably after the music stopped. You know, multitasking, doing stuff. But I think that was the last week I did the same thing. But I definitely like the music. The music's nice and soothing. Um, but yeah, I probably should try the whole 40-minute session. But to
Yeah,
me,
it's hard. It's hard. I do agree. I mean, like for as I said, like even 30 seconds of good deep meditation is very rewarding. The problem is that to get to that 30 seconds, because we are multitasking slash our mind is like, we call it the monkey mind, like just
yeah,
all over the place, right? So the transition in and transition out, we, I think, underestimate the value in general. So from the waking up to like getting active to but mind is always on, right? Yeah, or almost.
yeah,
So training the mind, so one of the things is that if you find a place and a time such that you're, like we are all creatures of habit, so you get into that mode and then start with some music or whatever concentrates you, so that like some sort of you know work related and you know everything that runs in our head is just like it's all over the place, so we have to kind of transition in. And interestingly, I actually was there there was a session I was in public library, and you know that day I think I usually would keep half an hour between like when I wrap up and I give the conference room away. um, uh, so that day I didn't have that liberty, and we were in meditation, and the person who had the room after us was very impatient, and he loudly knocked on the door. And I tell you, I was like just, I still remember. It was that. It's so. Then I realized, like even transition out is important. So it's not just transition in; it's even transition out. So that's why we're always, I keep some discussion, some music, just to, bring us back to ground.
gotcha. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, yeah. No, welcome on board. And I mean, this is a journey, and I always find that a group session is, uh, like, and I don't mean it in any negative way. It's like the captive audience, right? So we become like, you know, captive audience for some time. So mind, otherwise like, oh, I have to do this or I have to think about this, So in a group session, you're kind of bound to, you know, so my practice definitely I owe to a lot of these group sessions. So, all right. Uh, so Karunakar, how are you?
Hello, Sanjeev. I'm doing very good. Hope you're doing good.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for these sessions. These are helping me a lot. I've been suffering from anxiety disorder, and basically that's the reason I've been joining these calls. I think this is my second call,
Yeah.
and it's very relaxing. And it's, as you said, it's I'm getting benefits of this group meditation. Actually, I try to meditate sitting alone at home, but sometimes I'm able to do half an hour, but sometimes I couldn't even sit for 3 minutes. But this group meditation is helping me a lot. And once again, thank you so much for all those
Yeah.
sessions and lecture, Sanjeev sir. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm glad. Yeah, it would, especially the music. So, leverage both music and breathing exercises um, more because
Hmm.
what I find is like when you do mindful meditation, your mind automatically, almost effortlessly comes to the present moment. And that is the key to fighting, anxiety. So I find the most effective approach, you know, so first bring your mind to the present moment. Then, so in your transition in and transition out that we were just talking about, if you use mindfulness, like observing your breathing, effortlessly your mind will come to the present moment. So, and then go into deeper meditation. Um, that would work very effectively for you,
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
especially when you're doing it alone. And music does the same thing. So whichever is more effective, you know, try
Okay.
it and try it and let me know. Anyway,
Sure, sure.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
yep. So before we wrap up, so Luz and Eddie, anything or Shivangi, anything?
Happy Saturday, everyone.
Saturday.
It was great to see you all. I was happy to partake in another meditation session with you. Nothing really. I can relate to what Richard was saying. I think it's not so much, I'm not sure if it's just the time of day, but if I meditate in the morning, a lot of thoughts usher in because it's like the first here for me it's morning time, so it's the first time I'm kind of awake and thoughts tend to flood in, but I do hang on to those brief moments of total stillness when I can. They come up. Um but yeah, I can completely relate to that.
So yeah, Dan was saying that too. So are you saying that if you meditate in the evening, it's better?
Yeah, or midday.
Ah,
Yeah.
because but again, the reasons why there are, thousands of ways to meditate is because we're also, different, and some of these methods kind of mix, like transition in is one way, and then how you meditate, what you meditate on, all that matters.
Just having been awake for a little while beforehand, which I'm revealing that I wasn't today. But last week I was, so the meditation was a lot deeper. So it just depends. But
you must have, I'm just saying it lightly. It's like you must have a very hyperactive mind, but no, I'm kidding. The thing is, like, how can an engine start and get to like 0 to 60 in 30 seconds? It's fascinating. Um, because I have heard, and again, like, so traditional things, right? If we go back, they used to say in India, like, uh, meditate in Brahm Muhurt, which is 4 to 8 in the morning and 4 to 8 in the evening, because you start your day charged up and then you wrap up your day kind of um, whatever quote unquote dirt you have gathered, like, you know cleanse it out. So morning meditations are actually, I mean, believe it or not, I know, even here, in US, there are methods in which you actually get up like early at 4 a.m. and meditate. So I'm just, you know, um, hmm, I'll have to think about this one.
I mean, I could meditate. It just thoughts are going to start flooding in, just random thoughts that I didn't have time to, that felt suppressed during the week or whatever it was I was doing the day before, just thoughts that are suppressed. And it's
Right.
not like major. It's like,
Got it.
oh, I have to do this, or oh, that was pleasant. That happened. I'd like to think about that pleasant moment that happened yesterday just a bit. Those kinds of things. It just pops up while I'm meditating. And
Yeah,
then I kind of say to myself, I have this inner dialogue like, wait, no, I'm meditating.
yeah. No, so
I'm
so
focused.
so this is fascinating. You learn something every time. We should figure out a way to quickly, transition into this mode of meditation, right? How do we do effectively? So, you know, okay, I mean, so least resistance path, I mean, more meditation in the evening, which is fine. But, the challenge would be, how do we do more out of morning meditations, right? So
Mhm, mhm.
that may be a good study to, and then share some of those experiments and methods with others in some due course. Cool. Very good. Very good. So Shivangi, anything before Eddie wraps it up?
Namaste, Bhaiya ji. No, I'm good. I'm good today.
Good, good. All right, Eddie. So let's uh, wrap up the session.
I would just wrap up with some comments on the topic that you introduced today, and that is love being a state of consciousness. What we often do in our society is confuse it with what is termed affection. Affection is necessary, especially for the development of children, so we should all show affection towards children. Um, but we look at love as being affection. Affection, unfortunately, changes with age and with cultures. When we're young, affection might be sharing your peanut butter and jelly sandwich with your flowers or candies on Valentine's Day, and these are um, interpreted as love, but they're really affection, right? They're showing fondness towards someone or liking someone. Love, on the other hand, sees everything as unity, as being an extension of oneself. And so it is different. It doesn't change with culture or age, it's always the same. And then one way that we can practice love throughout the day is whenever we encounter a person, extension of ourselves, and we greet them in this way as such. And that is in my opinion, a good way to practice this concept of love. So after we do this over a period of time, maybe we can start to manifest this in our lives, and we'll start to experience joy, less envy, less hatred towards other people, and experience, more happiness in our lives.
Yeah, and I would, I don't know, I almost feel that the more you meditate, the more you become aware and aware of the consciousness around you, and the consciousness within you and others is the same. The deeper it gets, the joyfulness, and like, why do we feel so much better in nature, or so just another food for thought for today. And really great session, great discussion. So really looking forward to meeting you all again. Till then, have a great day and a week ahead. All right, see y'all. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thank you. See you next
Have a
week.
good week, everyone.
Thanks. Thank you, Richard, Dan, Karunakar, Liz,
Namaste, Bhaiya ji.
Shivangi.